Back to the Garlic Marketing Show. I am Garlic, and I've got Sarah. Do you want to go by Sarah Noel Block or Sarah Block? I don't know.
I use Sarah Noel. You know what? I am a marketer, so obviously I chose to go with my full name for SEO purposes, but you can call me Sarah.
All right, Sarah. We're going to talk B2B marketing on this Garlic Marketing Show, specifically B2B services, why small marketing teams happen, why they get burnt out, because Sarah Noel Block was one of those small marketing teams before she started her agency. Sarah, say hi.
Hi.
We're going to talk about what's working for her right now, her 1x4 system that's generating leads in 4 hours a week. We're going to talk about her biggest success story of growing a B2B company with 7 different companies with some simple strategies. And also, she's going to go over all of her LinkedIn hacks, what not to do, and some of those dangerous pieces of B2B marketing right now. All this on the Garlic Marketing Show. But don't forget, one of the best pieces of content is always customer stories. If you want to learn how to collect, craft, and deliver those customer stories, go ahead and go to videocasestory.com. You can get video testimonials that land the big fish for 99 cents. All right, let's get started.
Ms. Gino Wickman. I was introduced to Ian, and that's what brought me into this video world and got me embracing this video world. And Ian did exactly what I hoped. He got me really comfortable with putting videos out to the world and having a great strategy around putting videos out to the world, because there's so much more than just shooting a video. And so the way that he positions those videos, optimizes those videos, he's done a great job.
And you've been in B2B marketing for a while. Tell me a little bit about your services, who you serve, and a little bit about how you got there real quick, because I'm sure there's 18,000 podcasts with that on there.
Sure. I work in B2B service businesses, mainly, that have 0 to 2 person marketing departments. And definitely this story I've told a million times about how as a 1-person marketing department for a 7-company group, burnt out I got and overwhelmed. And that's when I started building out the frameworks that I use for my clients now. But I guess those nightmares turn too. You learn something from them.
That's always evolution, right? You've got to make like the big mistakes and have the nightmares to really push through. And I see this a lot. When I work with companies and you walk in and they're like, this person's running our Facebook ads, doing our Google ads, doing this. And I'm like, I can't do that.
They're not doing it well. I'll tell you that much. There's a better way.
Why do you think, what's the idea going on in leadership? Because I see this so much that they also hire someone who's also like usually fresh out of school. No offense to people fresh out of school. Don't have any business experience. You don't have any sales experience. You don't have any, what you need in marketing. What's the mindset that gets them to this point and makes them also not realize, hey, my team's getting burnt out?
I'll tell you. It's usually sales-led. Like the company is sales-led and they think that they can rely exclusively on outreach and relationship building. And those elements are so important. But without marketing, you don't have any trust built. You don't have any visibility. You don't have any authority. So those pieces are missing. So they have to do a lot of legwork in order to actually get those sales calls booked. Because people are going to their LinkedIn page and why should I trust you?
Yeah. And 100%. Like I see this all the time. Like I have companies reach out to me and then I go to their LinkedIn, I Google their name. And it's amazing to me that how many people they're like, oh, don't Google my name. I'm like,
gotta Google it now.
But like how many B2B businesses that are big businesses, you Google their name and then it's 20 things before you even get to their website.
Yes, that happens all the time. Or like the core people that someone would look up on LinkedIn, they have no picture on their LinkedIn profile, or their pages just aren't optimized, updated. And a lot of those B2B companies are fine with that because they think recruiters aren't going to steal them. But your potential clients are going on their profiles and they're saying, I don't think so.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want them to show up in like an old suit from the 1970s. And maybe, I don't know, but maybe
that's your thing.
That's your thing. But it'd still be a nice suit. It wouldn't be this old musty suit. Because I I try and explain this to people, like when I see that type of online presence, I just imagine this person in a boiler room, like smoky boiler room, like just making calls, and my mind goes to the worst place. And
real old school.
yeah. And then they have these nice then you meet the companies and they have these beautiful offices. I know one of the companies I was working with, same thing. And then I'm like, oh, this is a nice office. Like, yeah, we're paying $100,000 a month in rent. I'm like, and you spent $3,000 on your website?
What?
Yeah. And I see this all the time. And to your point, sales led. But so when you see this, if I'm a company and I'm looking at my marketing company, first of all, what's the sign that my teams are either burnt out or I've got the wrong small team or I'm trying to ask them too much?
It starts with someone wearing too many hats, that someone had an interest in marketing and raised their hand. So now they're doing two jobs. And that's usually the first person who ends up in marketing, someone without any experience, and they're doing it on the side. It's just a side thing. They're going to get burnt out real quick because they have a primary role, and this is just something that's filling up space in between, and it's not going to be strategic in any sort of way because they don't have that experience to figure out what strategic looks like.
Yeah. No, you're right. And marketing has evolved beyond just drawing, right? Just behind graphics, but it always was storytelling to a point. But I think advertising made us think that it's just about design, and it's so much more now. I know I just get into the Facebook ads platform. I'm like, oh, they moved everything around.
Oh my gosh. I went in there recently. Because I do all organic inbound marketing and like the outbound strategy, but I had to go into Facebook ads for something. Like, I don't even know how to walk around here anymore.
You don't. And you have someone that's half doing this. And I think it's important for people to realize it's almost costing them more money to have someone at all than to just not do any marketing, isn't it?
It really is. And even if you have a dedicated person or team for marketing and it's not enough, the things that burnt me out as a one-person marketing department was like I had 7 presidents that had their own goals. Yes, each of those divisions had their own president and they all had their own business goals. They all had ideas of what they wanted for marketing. And that was super overwhelming because I couldn't do 7 different strategies. And every little thing that they saw pop up, this looks exciting. I couldn't do all of that. And that it's not strategic to do it that way. It doesn't make sense to do it that way. You have to have those conversations with customers and figure out what the buying journey really is so you can just do that.
I think we talk about buying journey, and I've been talking a lot about this because understanding a B2B buyer's journey is completely different than a B2C buyer's journey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I don't touch B2C.
Yeah, and because I also see this in agencies, right? That are B2C agencies, and then take B2C methodologies and try and apply it. Like, oh, I'm going to run the same Facebook lead ads that got my chiropractor clients, and that's going to get me big, huge names. And it doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't work at all. B2B is a completely different world. And B2B service is even more completely different because it's really about relationships and building up marketing that encourages the relationships. Yes. Nourishes is the word I'm looking for.
And when you're nourishers machine, but to your point, you've got to nurture those relationships, building out B2B content, because you're talking about organic. So this is a whole nother thing too, I feel. And I don't know if you're seeing this, but I see a lot of people say marketing doesn't work because they're in the B2B field. Agencies in particular, using essentially B2C influencer content because they want to get subscribers or they want to get views. What's your opinion on that? Because I'm of the opinion that you need to focus on the B2B side and almost completely scrap trying to get a ton of subscribers.
Yeah, you don't need a ton of subscribers, views, traffic. You need very specific people looking at your content. When I'm creating content, I do it collaboratively. I do it in a way that builds relationships. Ask people that are connected to the companies you want to work for, or even people within those companies, if they can be an expert in whatever the thing is that you do. Like, you have a podcast. Can you be an expert on this topic that I'm doing next week? I need just 10 minutes of your insights. And then hop on a call. Give them an opportunity to be the expert. And that's the fun thing about B2B service businesses is they're smart people, and you get to have really cool conversations, and their expertise should be highlighted. They should be in the spotlight, and they're often not.
No, and that's super smart to do, because it's like, A, you learn, right? B, you develop a relationship, and C, it's hyper-targeted.
Like an ABM approach to content marketing.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been talking about this for you all that don't know, account-based marketing, account-based sales, where you're really focused in delivering the content. Because also, I don't know how much you're, at that point, are you working and thinking about the algorithms when you're looking at, I'm assuming LinkedIn is your main place that you're going after?
No, I don't care about the algorithm.
Gotcha. Nice. And you obviously don't care about likes and views. So what are the metrics then? Like when you go into, and I want to talk about the types of content, but what are the metrics that you're looking at as a B2B service marketer on the organic content side?
So I don't care about the number of views or the number of engagement, but I care about who is viewing and who is DMing me. On LinkedIn, you can see what the job titles are of the people that are viewing your content. So you can see if you're hitting the right people. You can look up the industries of the people that viewed your post, so you know that you're hitting it correctly or that you need to tweak it. You also know who exactly is looking at your LinkedIn profile. So it gives you a lot of data to see if, do I need to switch gears a little bit? So I'm focusing. But something that I say all the time is the money is in the lurkers. The people who buy from me never ever comment on my stuff. I
was just talking about this. We're talking about, getting 100K clients from YouTube, and like, those people never comment. They're not going to like, they're not going to subscribe. They'll be there for 3 years and watch everything. Yeah. And like you said, they are lurkers. They are lurkers.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I think they're busy. They don't care. The people who are liking and engaging, they want your attention. And the people who are buying, they only care about getting your attention when they're ready to buy from you.
I think that's a very valid point. And it's like the anti-social media loop, right? Because the social media, normal social feedback loop is you pay attention to the people liking all your stuff, and you make more stuff for them. And that's where you end up not getting good leads, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to see who is actually viewing them. And you can do that. You can do that super easily. You can see who views your post. And that will tell you that you're going in the right direction. And how many leads are you getting? How many people are DMing you or contacting you? I was doing my annual planning, honestly, since October for 2024. And so I was digging deep into my data. And almost all of my clients come from LinkedIn, and none of them ever commented on anything that I've created. But trying to create these engagement loops, these watering holes with people who would also be interacting with the people you want to work with, so it gets in their feed and they see it, that's important.
That is great. And so what is the secret then to getting the right content and not burning yourself out making 1,000 videos a day? Are you making 1,000 videos a day? Are you?
Hell no. No. So when it comes to overall marketing, I have this, I call it a 1x4 or a 1x5 approach. One target customer where I know their problems. I know what they're going through. And then I only talk about those things, the challenges that they're going through. People only really care about themselves, myself included. Yep. So when your content is speaking to them and about their challenges, they're going to be interested. And then one core channel, for me, that's LinkedIn. One core content, for me, that's podcasting. And also, bonus points, if your core content is collaborative, where you can bring in those people who you could potentially be working with or could turn into referral partners, extra bonuses.
Yes, that's great.
So, yeah.
And What do you feel? I mean, do you feel like LinkedIn for B2B services is just the place to be?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where now, when you're burning out on content, why do you think people are burning out on content?
Because they feel like they have to keep up with everyone else. It's exhausting. So you're creating a ton of stuff. And everyone was telling you that you have to create weekly content and then you need to repurpose it on every channel. So you're showing up and you have that ultimate visibility. But forget that. You don't need to do all of that. You can do it especially if you're first starting off, do it super simply. You can do something as small as curating podcast playlists around a very niche topic that your audience would be interested in. You can do curated content like that. You could do collaborative content where you're just guesting on other people's podcasts and then you create show notes pages or articles on your own website. So you get the SEO juice. Plus you get the backlinks from all of the podcasts you're being on.
Because you brought up websites and you get SEO, right? And I think SEO is still important, obviously. There was a time like 15 years ago and you were there too, when SEO was everything, websites were everything.
Yeah.
How much weight are you putting into websites now, especially in B2B? Because I'm telling people that especially anyone under 30 is not spending any time on websites.
You still need a website, in my opinion, for B2B. You need to address those objections that people are going to have when they're thinking about buying from you. And you need to make sure that you have messaging that speaks to your specific audience, that attracts the right people, repels the people that you don't want to work with. I think that's all important. And my website gets me tons of traffic from articles and podcasts, but it's not the end all be all. You need it. You need it for sure. That's your home, your virtual home.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not everything. Like when you Google my name, my website comes up, sure, but so does YouTube, the podcasts I've been on. I take up a lot of real estate because I'm on a lot of different websites.
Awesome. And yeah, and that's exactly it. You control that real estate, control your online reputation. Now, you've been doing this for a while. I love success stories. What's one of your favorite success stories?
That I was telling you about as I was really overwhelmed and I wasn't making a ton of progress except for visibility. And once I started to build out my framework to make it more minimalist, more streamlined and strategic and systematized, it really made a huge difference. We ended up having our highest grossing year in a 60-year history. And I believe it was 30% of it was marketing attributed.
Wow. So tell me, in that, where was the switch that made that happen? What was the real switch? When you're like, how did you turn that all around?
Hitting rock bottom, overwhelmed in my cubicle, like, I can't do this. And I was like, okay, but I got to make it work because this is my job. So I started building out systems like, okay, what is working best for us? I started having conversations with our customers. How did they discover us? How can I manufacture that so it happens more seamlessly? It happens easier and we don't have to do so much legwork on it. What kind of content was working for us? And then I just did one. These are the things I need to do in order to attract customers, and it worked.
Yeah. And it's because I think burnout is not just about doing the work. It's about doing the work and not feeling like it's.
Yeah. It feels pointless, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're not making any sales. So many people care about visibility for visibility's sake. And I only care about it when it comes to sales. I want to make more money for you and for me.
That is great. And how much training, of this mindset, when someone comes to you, do you have to do? Who are you working with primarily? Is it usually a CMO? Obviously, if it's one person, that it's CMO/intern, right?
Yeah. So it's either the CMO or they have zero marketing department, and I'm working with the operations person generally.
Gotcha.
So it's like when it's that person, they're just like, do the thing. I don't have to train them. They're like, I don't care. With the CMO, I do have to do a little bit more guidance on that and walk them through why I do things the way I do and how it will just make it a lot easier for them when they decide to just bring it all in-house, because we'll have these systems, this foundation down where you don't have to think about it. It runs nearly on autopilot.
That's fantastic. That's the dream.
Yeah, it's exhausting constantly trying to come up with new strategies. You don't have to.
Yeah, no. And when you're talking to these people and they're going to bring it in-house, what's the progression of who they hire to bring it in-house?
Usually it starts with someone lower level, like marketing manager, but it's someone right out of school. So they need a lot of guidance. And that's generally the first person in marketing that they'll hire. And then they'll start with freelancers to fill in the gaps.
Gotcha. So now you're building your business through LinkedIn, your agency. How much time a week are you spending on your marketing?
Yeah, about 4 hours a week.
Nice.
Yeah, I practice what I preach. And so I moved my podcast to weekly. It was bi-weekly. So 4 hours is going up. But that includes the time that I spend on LinkedIn, email marketing, the podcast creation and editing, and then outreach, because outreach matters.
And you're doing all that yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. In 4 hours, that's pretty good. That is pretty good.
I have a system.
That is awesome. And so if someone wanted to get this system, what's the best way to connect with you?
They can go to sarahnoelblock.com/garlic and find pretty much everything that they'll need. And if they want to work with me directly, the first project we work on is a really affordable strategic spark. And it is your 1x5 marketing strategy. And it's $497. So affordable. And then we can move on to building out the foundations for you.
That's amazing. That is.
Oh, you know what? I also gave you 50% off. So your listeners only pay half of that.
What?
They do.
Count me in. Do I count as a listener? We get this. We get it done in 4 hours a week. That's crazy. That's amazing. What do you feel are the LinkedIn biggest trends right now that B2B marketers should be paying attention to? Obviously, I was seeing with the content, keeping it simple, but are there any LinkedIn hacks? Is there any, you don't pay attention to the algorithm? What are you doing to make that's really working right now on LinkedIn?
I don't care about the algorithm, but I do pay attention to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So text-only posts do best on LinkedIn. You don't need to do the video. And the carousels that were super popular in 2023, those are dying out. Text only again. And
why do you feel it is? Is it the algorithm, or is it the engagement of it, or is it just?
I think people are just getting tired of it. It was really exciting because it was new. You have to click and it takes forever to get through that post. It's okay, just say the thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Contributing to articles. I can't remember what they call them, but I don't know. But that's how you get the badge, is contributing to public articles on LinkedIn. So you'll get a badge for being an expert when you contribute to X amount of articles. Nice. That's really big right now.
How many badges do you have?
I have one badge. I think you can only have one at a time.
Nice. That's awesome.
Let me think. What else? Audio only events are pretty big on there.
Awesome.
And not a trend or an algorithm thing, but something that I have noticed myself doing more, and everybody else too, is like taking the relationship offline. And the people that I'm connecting with, I'm trying to build real relationships with them, not trying to sell them, just I want more biz friends. So I've been connecting with a lot more of them out of the platform.
It's fundamentals. It always comes back to fundamentals, right?
Yeah, it really does.
And it comes back to building real relationships. And it's just an accelerated way to build real relationships, educate your clients, and stay in front of them. Now, what are some of the B2B trends that you're seeing, B2B marketing trends that you're seeing that you feel are dangerous, not good, that people should completely avoid? TikTok?
No, I love TikTok. Not for B2B necessarily, but I love TikTok.
It's such a hole.
Oh, it's definitely a hole. I have to ban myself from it for periods of time because I'll just get sucked in. Let's see. Dangerous things, relying too heavily on AI, where like you trust it implicitly. You need to make sure that the information is accurate. I like using AI with a transcript. I'll interview an expert and then I'll copy and paste that transcript into AI and ask questions so I can pull from real actual data.
Nice.
So I think too much reliance, not enough data on that. That's the only thing that I think, trying to automate relationships too much. People that are like sending those like auto messages to everybody that's just the same. It hurts your relationship. And you know what? I've done it. I have definitely done it over at some point in these past 15 years, and it didn't do anything to build a positive, real relationship.
Yeah. No, it's tempting. It is tempting, and you get leads from it, but you get much higher quality, longer lasting leads, I think, with the direct ones. And I've done it recently, just testing it out. So you're like, hey, let's test it out and see if it works. And you get some conversations, but not like to your point. And also, I think you get distracted from the relationships.
I think it's okay if you're using it as a conversation starter and a way to, if you set up your system and you're targeting the right people and it's just a conversation starter, but then when it goes into, hey, I haven't heard from you yet, and you're just like pounding my DMs, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, doing anything you would completely not do in real life.
Yeah.
Some people would do that.
Going to a neighbor's door and saying, hey, you haven't responded to my text. But
maybe.
Then that's creepy.
Awesome. This has been great. So we'll put a link to that amazing offer. It's a no-brainer. So sarahnoelblock.com/garlic. And we'll put a link to your LinkedIn. How often are you posting right now on LinkedIn?
I post on LinkedIn probably 3 to 5 days a week.
Okay, so it's not excessive. So we'll make sure people follow you on LinkedIn. And obviously, if you're a B2B service company, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Give Sarah Noel Block a call. But Sarah, thank you so much for being on the Garlic Marketing Show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for taking Sarah and I on our journey. It's been Iron Garlic and the Garlic Marketing Show.